What's going on, guys? No Guides here. Welcome back to another video. Now in today's video we're going to go over an Elastico tutorial, but it's more of just a walkthrough on basically how to use it in some situations that I've used it, just to give you a bit kind of aware you what's going on. I'll give you a bit of a situation report. These are direct comments from EA, by the way. This is from EA's Twitter. I'm sure you may have seen this, but if you haven't, basically they decided the demo isn't to be released, or should have been released, on the 15th. So what was meant to happen in theory was on the 15th, or at the very least the 20th, the demo was meant to come out, and then people like myself, content creators, could make content for it. Now that would be done on my main YouTube channel, because obviously in the first week I'm still testing a lot of things out. You'll see a lot of, I also say watch my main YouTube channel as well. So when the game comes out, there's obviously still a lot of things to test out, but our main YouTube channel, you'll see videos. So I would say when the game does come out, make sure you do check out the main YouTube channel. There'll be some tutorials there as well. But in terms of FIFA School, what I want to do is I wanted to basically create content on how to use the new mechanics, like, you know, creative runs and the new stuff that's in the game. But unfortunately, because the demo is not released, I don't have access to the game yet. What this means is I have to make all my tutorials in the first 10 hours when EA Access comes out on the 1st. Now, obviously, it's not really possible to do that because I have to kind of make a mechanic, test a mechanic. A video takes in itself about maybe 12 hours of footage to make. So it's a bit difficult. So this will probably be the last video for FIFA 20 and today's video. And what will happen is when the game comes out on the 1st, I'll be recording footage, and then during the first month I'll be making the videos, just like how I did last year. We're going to start again from scratch. Don't worry, if you're already an existing member of FIFA School, all the videos from last year will still be there, and then once I create the new ones for this year, they'll basically replace the old ones, if that makes sense. But let's go straight into the tutorial. Again, so these are clips that are from FIFA 20, remember, FIFA 21 is not out yet. But the exact same thing, the way the Elastico works, it should be the exact same thing. These are some clips that I found throughout the year. I kind of went through all my footage and found examples of where I used Elastico. I picked out a couple of examples. This is one I wanted to use. So Elastico, it is a 5-star skill move, don't forget. I know you can do 4-star or lower skill moves with anyone in theory. Even with a 1-star skill, I mentioned this last time, where you have like for example the stop. If you think about a stop and go, or a skill move like the La Coqueta, they can be done by 1- or 2-star skill moves from now on FIFA 21, but it won't be as effective. Now with Mahrez over here, the reason why this is a very good angle to use it is no one really predicts this angle, and you can see where I did the Elastico, as you can see, is more the zigzag movement again. The way I do it, if you watch the right analog stick, you see I flick it very quickly. I don't even attempt to position myself. It's almost like an immediate flick. So remember, I'm flicking the right analog stick that way. So we're going as a backwards view. And remember, I said you want to flick this one into the way you want to exit. So we start from here and went all the way around, because you want to create this flip-flap type animation. Now, in all honesty, I'd be lying to you if I said I actually knew what I wanted to do. I knew roughly that I wanted to get into this situation and beat this player, but I never expected to beat this player like that. And that was due to delay. So I wanted to show that example, because it's actually a pretty decent example, but it was one way you could use it. This is an example of where you can actually use Elastico in most places, and it can also bail you out. Sometimes it will surprise you, and that's just part of the game. But again, simple movement, just use Elastico, 5-star skill move to create the angle, and very much should have been a goal. We have an intended example. So as we can see, we get the ball back from a defense scenario. And don't forget, with creative runs this year, this is actually a good example to use. So creative runs obviously will add a new element to your attack. That means you can define which each player is running. As you can see, when I get the ball, I just literally spam the quick 1-2s and I spam the L1 button. So that one I'm just doing on the sending players forward. We'll go into that more next year when the game comes out. I do a simple through ball down the wing. And again, it goes back to recycling the play. I got no one inside the box, so the fake shot stop, and I realized, okay, I'm in trouble. So I go outwards and I pass the ball back to the outside area, and I got Mahrez with the ball. And I go inside. And this is why I intentionally did Elastico. And I watch this. Here I have a player running towards me, and by doing the Elastico, basically what it is I actually create the gap. So I saw that he was running towards me, and that's when I initiate the Elastico. And again, it's the exact same way. You can see as soon as I see him run towards me, that's why I initiate the Elastico. Now I don't do it this way, I do it the opposite way. So I do I would flip my right analog stick, I go from this angle all the way to the bottom, so backwards view, because I want to exit on this side. The reason why is I want to do a flip-flap animation around the player. I don't really want to go inwards, because if you try to go this way, let's say you try to go on the inward angle, if he's running towards you, the issue is he's naturally going to be defending the inside lane. So I'm basically going around him. So I wait for him to come close. In fact, I'll slow this down just a tad bit. And as you can see, he comes towards me, and then I did a movement, and you can see it works very much perfectly. And you can see this how effective the skill move is. Not only is it fast, you can see that almost the game basically helped me. As soon as he was near me, because the animation is so quick, he can't react in time. And even then, you can see I was literally just be able to run past him, and that was very much an easy goal. And this is a key situation where Elastico could be used in a 1v1 situation. Now this is a more conventional example. We've got the ball with Mahrez, and this would be a situation that I wanted you to use the Elastico all the time. The reason why I didn't show this example first is because this is what you probably would expect me to show you. The previous examples, the reason why I showed you is because they're examples where you could argue when you have the ball, you're doing Elastico, even if you think it's not going to work, sometimes it's worth trying. A lot of times when I do Elastico, sometimes I don't even know exactly where the Elastico is actually going to take place, but I still do it just to see how it really transpires in the game. Here when I get the ball with Mahrez, I do a quick 1-2, the ball goes back to Mahrez. Now this would be the best place to use using Elastico. So basically I want to get into this zone over here, this red zone. And the reason I don't want to kind of, if I just move there normally, I mean, in all honesty, I could do a running fake shot and get into that zone. But the issue is my opponent may be able to read what I'm doing. Now the benefit is I have this play over here. Now I didn't realize this at the time. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. And I can't say for sure or not. But when I had the ball with Neymar, that quick 1-2, first of all, when I pass the ball away, it sends Neymar on a run going forward. Now obviously creative runs will be prevalent next year. But you know, a simple 1-2 will still be very good next year. So again, the exact same thing. Did a quick 1-2. Neymar made a run. Now maybe you could argue if Neymar didn't make that run, maybe he would have defended differently. Maybe. But because Neymar was making a run there, he tried to, I'm presuming, switch to one of these closer players or one or two of these players. But you see, if I tried to do a walk there or even do a running fake shot, I probably would have got intercepted. But what I opted to do instead is kind of go into that zone, and I knew Mahrez was left-footed. Mahrez was left-footed, so I wanted to get on the left. So how did I do it? Is I wanted to create an Elastico, and I wanted to end up over here. I wanted to get into this situation so I could take a shot near post. Now, obviously, if you have a 21, we don't know if near post is going to be as effective. It should be somewhat still effective. I won't say they'll nerf it into the ground. But I saw that situation, I wanted to go into that gap. And as you can see, very easy. Create the Elastico, create the angle. And as you can see, the same is the backwards U shape. So again, went backwards U because I wanted to go do Elastico into this region over here. And as you can see, as soon as I get the ball, I face towards goal. That's important. If I was not facing towards goal, this wouldn't have happened. So I'm basically doing the Elastico. Then as soon as Elastico really takes into place, as you can see, then, and as you can see, even when he does switch, look, you can see he tries to switch. You can see he tries to react. Even here, he makes a mistake. He tries to react because the animation is so quick. I'm able to get away, and that's enough for me to take an extra touch and then take a shot towards goal. Now, this is another example that goes around. I think June time I took this photo just from team of the season. I had Ronaldo in the team. Again, I win the ball back, do a quick pass, and I do a quick 1-2 and Neymar. I see Ronaldo making a run, so I end up doing a through ball. Also, my opponent is playing very attacking because he's losing 4-2. I get ball with Ronaldo, and I'll be honest, I tried my absolute best to slow the ball down. But because I was winning, I thought, you know what, let me just try doing a running fake shot. Ended up working, which I was surprised with Ronaldo. I see the goalkeeper coming towards me. Now, realistically, I should have done a fake shot and gone downwards. That I agree with. But for some reason, I don't know why I took a touch inwards. I just thought I could maybe slot the ball to Neymar, I think, in this situation. That's what I thought. I realized, okay, I'm in trouble. And as you can see, I took a touch just on the outwards. And that kind of screwed me up because that touch there, potentially I was gonna play the through ball, but then I saw the goalkeeper arriving, so end up doing a ball roll. The ball roll is the correct thing to do over here, but I'd probably use a fake shot because the running fake shot, or even normal fake shot, as I mentioned, you push the ball more further away from you, so it gets further away from the goalkeeper. I end up timing it perfectly though. I go around the goalkeeper, and the reason I don't take this shot here is I should have, but I didn't take the shot because by the time I control the ball, I was worried the goalkeeper was going to get back. Now, in hindsight, I should have taken the shot. It was probably a very bad thing to do. But at that moment, sometimes you make mistakes. We all make mistakes. And I thought the risk wasn't worth it. And I was like, you know what? I might not get the ball in. I end up doing a drag back and end up going away. Now, I'm in a situation. Now, I'm 90 degrees facing towards goal. I want to get it. Well, I want to get into that 45-degree angle. So I want to be facing ideally that way as opposed to this way. Now, there's two ways I can do this. I can do a simple fake shot and try to go diagonal. But a top tier player here will know to slide tackle into this space and they can stop the ball dead in its tracks. Even if he didn't slide, as I mentioned in one of my first tutorials, if he didn't slide over here, if he used the running jockey, there'll be a very big chance he can actually block the shot. So here I ended up opted going for an Elastico, and as you can see, it works very, very well. And as you can see, I do Elastico here, so I do a backwards U shape. So again, I want the Elastico to go there because I want to exit into this area. So that means if he does slide, the Elastico will kind of go around him. And actually, it did happen to be that way. As you can see, we're going to slow this down. So I get the Elastico. And as you can see, we'll focus on a right analog stick in a second. But as you can see, the Elastico was just enough. And you see, the most important thing was that the Elastico allowed me to exit in that 45-degree angle. That's what I wanted to mention. The Elastico, always think about the exit as well. Man. If you have the ball over here and you do the Elastico, you're probably going to end up being over here. Now, do you really want to be facing like this? Maybe if you want to go near post this way, but if you want to go across goal, maybe using an Elastico will not be worth using over there. It's the same, for example, if you're using it down the wing. If you're using it here and you do an Elastico like this, is it worth going away from goal? Let's say you're running this way. Is it worth doing an Elastico that way? Probably not. Now this, remember I said to you there's two Elasticos, there's also the reverse one, but the reverse one is not as effective. So that's what you have to always bear in mind, which angle you're at. And at this situation with Ronaldo, I knew, what, doing an Elastico here is a perfect. Doing a normal Elastico from going, I would say, from going into the angle towards goal in this situation, it's almost a perfect angle. If you have the ball like this, and let's say you're shooting from right to left, again, from right to left. So if you're shooting from right to left, using an Elastico, the backwards U-shape over here is the best thing you can use. When you get the ball anywhere in this vicinity, anywhere, and you're facing upwards, anywhere in any of these angles, do the Elastico just to create the angle and to create the shot. And that is why the Elastico is such a good skill move, because not only does it give you the space, it actually lets you go into that angle. There's not that many skill moves that allow you to actually turn into the angle. You have like the stop and go that makes you go 45 degrees, but nothing makes you swiftly exit 45 degrees into an angle. And as you can see, this angle works very well to the backwards U, as you can see. What I actually do over here is I actually keep spinning it around. Now, remember I said to you, you can basically spam the right analog stick around and around and around. You can basically chain Elasticos together. But for some reason, I did it the first time. It didn't register, so I just held it again. I don't know why I did it, really, I'll be honest. I did it the first time, but it didn't work. I don't know. As you can see, look, it didn't even register, so I just did it again. I don't know why. Maybe that was because of delay. So I just wanted to mention that in case you're wondering why I span it twice. In the moment, it just didn't register. I remember I span it, but it just didn't really transfer. As you can see, like I did it once, and then when I did it, it didn't really work. So that's why I did it 2 times, and that was enough again to create the angle again, the 45 direct angle, and then for me to easily take a shot towards goal. A very, very simple and effective way to use it. Okay, we've gone through some conventional examples of a normal Elastico. Now, what about the reverse Elastico? So the reverse Elastico is a bit different. It doesn't really work as well. I want to quickly show you this clip over here. So this is a clip of me using the reverse Elastico. I'm going to slow it down. As you can see, the movement, it's not really that good. As you can see, it kind of pierces to the right hand side a little bit, but it isn't as dramatic as a normal Elastico. We can go back and watch this again. And the normal Elastico, you kind of have that zigzag shape, whereas here you kind of just stick your foot out and just tap it a bit right. And this is why I say a normal fake shot is probably more efficient than using the reverse Elastico. In my opinion, I would just use the conventional. Let's say if you're shooting from, as I said, from right to left, the normal Elastico that way would be a really good situation to use it, like the Ronaldo example, to take a shot towards goal. That would be a good example. Here, the way you could use the normal Elastico is if you're going the opposite way. So if you're shooting from left to right now, from left to right, you want to basically be running into the box and you want to be doing Elastico normally. So like the Ronaldo example I showed you, from shooting from right to left, from shooting from left to right, you want to be basically running from the top and you want to be running downwards inside the box. When you do a normal Elastico, you basically create the 45-degree angle towards goal. But now we're on the opposite end. So the normal, as you can see this, if you look at the animation, as you can see, look, it's almost like just a simple movement, like a simple exit. It's no point. Now, that's why I say, look, with Mahrez being left-footed here, a regular fake shot would have sufficed here. So that's what I'm trying to say. In some situations, as you can see here, not this one, that was a 360, but over here, in a situation over here, again, the backwards U over here, the normal Elastico over here would have been pointless using. You could argue I could have used it, but there was really no point, because you can't really get like this, because of the angle that you're running. The only other, if you do the normal Elastico, you go that way completely out. You can't basically force your player to use the opposite foot, if that makes sense. So that's why there's a reverse Elastico. and there's a normal elastico. And that's why I say in these situations, just use the normal fake shot. There's no need to use the elastico. As you can see, look, it creates a little bit of the angle, but that's probably what the normal fake shot will do. So again, using the reverse elastico in that situation isn't really worth it. Here's a quick brief example where you can use elastico. So just to give you a bit of an insight, I got the ball with Mahrez. I did a normal elastico. I wanted to show you first. This is a normal elastico. You see how fast it is with Mahrez. The movement is very fluid. Now, if you see in contrast, now I actually skilled another skill move together with this, but as you can see, the reverse elastico is pointless. And this is the another issue that I have with the reverse elastico. You're going to see this exact same situation. I pass the ball back to Mahrez. I go back to Neymar and I watch. A normal fake shot here or scoop turn creates almost if not a better angle, it creates at least a more fluid animation that's faster. So as I said, there's no point in doing a reverse elastico. And as you can see in this situation here, look, I dribbled to get past, but I just wanted to show you the 3 skill moves together in this one clip. So again, the normal elastico, you can see how quick it is. See how quick it is, normal one again. So we're going like this and we're going outwards like that. As you can see, very, very fluid. Then once I do over here, I try doing the reverse elastico, and as you can see, although it's bobbling a little bit, as you can see, the movement is not even as dramatic. And I was trying to say, to get into that situation, it was pointless. And when I got the ball back with Neymar again, the normal scoop turn did the exact same thing. So I just wanted to make this clear, that's why I say don't use the reverse elastico. I'll show you one more example after this. So here's the last example I wanted to show you. My opponent almost gave up in a situation, but as you can see over here, I'll do a normal elastico again. And again, I go into this zone over here. But is it worth using a normal elastico there? Probably not. A normal fake shot will suffice. So again, don't use reverse elastico. Just keep it simple and use a normal one. So you know how the elastico works. You know the reverse elastico and you know the normal elastico. How can you take this skill move to another level? Now we know you can now chain 3 skill moves together. The best thing to do is to combine a skill move with the elastico. This is what I like to call the advanced elasticos. So you have, for example, like this one. As you can see, I do a step over and elastico at the same time. This is actually very, very easy to do. Now, just imagine imagine this was an arena and I was behind the ball. You could argue I'll be doing a backwards U because I want to do the elastico and I want to basically exit, or should I say the opposite way, should I say? I'll be doing a backwards U like that because I want to exit into that direction. Now, again, because Mahrez is left-footed, I wanted to create that, that acute angle to be able to go near post. Now, you might not always want to do that, but you see the reason why this worked very well is I had to beat this player first. So what I did is I actually did a step over and I combined it with an elastico in one basically quick motion. It was half my opponent to basically defend against it. How did I do it? Now it's very simple. To do a step over basically is you want to basically move in, let's say you're facing that way, you basically want to move the right analog stick almost like from 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock. So how do you combine it together is all you do is you start now from 12 o'clock and you go all the way around. You're almost creating like, you could argue 3/4 of a circle, if that makes sense. So what you're doing is instead of just doing a normal regular elastico, you're extending it by in the beginning doing an extra turn. So basically it's one swift motion. So just to verify, you're not stopping like this and then carrying on. It's one entire swift animation. But I'll show you some examples of how it works. But as you can see, look, he tries to defend against it and he gets put off, and it's very easy to combine together. So here's a clip you'll find yourself in a lot of the time to get the ball with Neymar down the wing, do a ball all the way, and a typical quick 1-2 around. Neymar makes a run, and then make a through ball. Now I get the ball with Neymar over here. Now I'll be honest, I took a touch inwards, and I see this player advancing very quickly towards me. Now I could do a fake shot stop, and I could try to pass in between, but if he defends that, I'm screwed. There's no one really in the box running in late, so I got no option here. I decided to wait for my opponent. Now if I did a regular elastico here, I may go past, but the issue is he could very easily see the animation of me doing an elastico and then almost predict where I'm going to be, or at least block the vicinity. But what I do instead is I do the advanced elastico, and so instead of just doing it just like this, I basically start, so this would be a normal elastico, backwards U. So I basically start from 12 and I go do a kind of a single step over, and then the backwards U continues. So again, it's almost like from 12 all the way to 3. And then all the way to 9. So it's like in one swift motion. So you can see like this, and watch what this does is that initial step over, it confuses him, and then the Elastico forces me to switch angles. You see, he never read that. So we're going to slow this down just a tad bit to 0.5. So again, he's advancing towards me. I see this. If I do Elastico, he'll read it. But by doing a step over, he thinks I'm going to basically pass or commit inwards, and that's enough to deceive him. Once the first step over happens, he decides to then halt, and that's when I use the Elastico to break through. And because the animation is so quick, a human cannot be able, or won't be able to react to it as well. And as you can see, he ends up going the opposite way because he thinks I'm going to exit that way. And as you can see, he completely gets left for dead. So how does this happen? So again, how does it work? I get the ball down the wing. Now again, you see how I start from 12 and I go down. So again, it's one swift motion. So it's kind of like that. So it's like from 12, from the top all the way around like this. And just once. You don't have to do it twice. But as you can see, look here, I've got up first, and I go, that's one. And as you can see, I don't stop. It's a complete fluid animation. Then as you can see, once it happens, I did it again because I thought it just wouldn't register. Sometimes you'll see me do it twice. I'll be honest, if you do it once here, it's completely fine. Just do it once. Ignore the second time I did it. I just do it because I know, for example, when you play the game long enough, you understand animations a bit better than the average person. And I understand, for example, in a situation, because of the server I was in, I thought the game was lagging. It's kind of like an old example I showed you earlier. I did it twice. And as you can see, it's such a good skill move. And I'll be honest, you cannot use it the opposite way, the reverse Elastico. It has to be the normal ones. As I said, if you're shooting from right to left with the Ronaldo example, going in the center. So with the Ronaldo example, the exact same thing. I'll start from 12 and I'll go all the way like this until 9. And that way with Ronaldo, I'll do a step over and then I'll do a zigzag animation over. So you get this kind of fluid animation. You do like a decoy step over and then you change the angle very, very quickly. A very, very good system. Got a bit unlucky in the end, but that is just one example. Okay, now here's the example. Okay, here's the example I wanted to show you earlier. As you can see, I get the ball with Mahrez. This is the first one I showed you. As you can see, that singular step over and I did Elastico straight after. Now again, what happened was I got the ball in this area. Apologies for just the beginning. That was a bit of a server lag over there. And then once I got the ball over there, again, because I'm facing this way, I did it opposite. So again, so imagine that's the 12 o'clock and I go all the way around to 9. So again, go like that. That's the first step over. And that's the step over animation. So step and then the backwards U. This is the Elastico. So again, I do it in one swift motion. So again, I start from 12 and I go like this. And I go all the way around. So again, start from 12, go all. So again, so in 12 in this situation will be over here. So start from 12 in the direction that we're going. Then we go all the way around. As you can see, this is what creates the advanced Elastico. And obviously, look, this is very hard to do. I won't lie to you. Even half time, I don't even pull this off correctly because it's very complicated. But it's an example of those that do like skill moves. It's almost, I don't think I see anyone do this. One of the hardest skill moves to learn, as you can see again. Into the direction we're facing, flick it 12 and then go all the way around. And as you can see, such a good skill move. You chain it together and it's almost undefendable in all honesty if you get the timing correct. Here's a bit of an odd situation. You can see that I use the Elastico the opposite way. And as you can see here, if I do an Elastico now, it's too early, you know, do Elastico now, it's too early, I'll go too far away from goal. But if I keep running forward and I do a fake shot, potentially you could run up and probably take a shot. I mean, the best thing for me to do here is probably go towards, wait for him to commit, to go forward, and then do a fake shot and then go near post. But what if he predicted that I was going to do that? What if he was a top tier player and he just knew that Neymar's situation was to go near post? So what I did here is, again, how did I do it? I started at 12. But this time I did Elastico the normal way. I basically exited away, but again, that was enough to create the angle, as you can see over here. And then once I got it, so I go forward a little bit. So I did it just a bit earlier. So just over here, registered it. So that way, step over first. So I moved there, and then I did Elastico after. And that's enough for me to get into this space over here. And as you can see, to defend against this, he basically has no chance. He's the first step over. Then he sees me move away. And at that time, that creates enough of the angle. And I'll be honest, I kind of got away with it because it was Neymar. But that is another example of where I use it. One final example I wanted to show you here. Same situation again. We see Neymar. We see him onside. He makes a big mistake and he ends up running out with his defender. Again, should not have done that. I get the ball with Neymar. Now here, I have a defender near me. I don't know what to do in this situation. I can, of course, wait for Mahrez to come inside the box. You face up here. Maybe press L1 so I face towards goal and tap the L1 trigger to make him make a run. but he could probably recover and defend in time. So what instead I opt to do is I get the ball with Neymar. Now I know, for example, he's running to protect the near post angle. So here I do the step over, pretend I'm going near post, and then I flick it the other way. And as you can see, that's where it works perfectly, because he thinks, for example, I'm going to go like that near post and that step over. Then so as soon as I step over, I go like this, and then I completely change angles like that. And as you can see, it's so hard for him to defend. This is why it's so effective. If you can get your opponent on a point where he doesn't know which way you're going, or let's say you're stuck. In fact, I would say if you're stuck in a situation, just try it. So if, for example, you're over here, let's just say in theory, and you've got defenders all near you, just for example, try it here. Do like the complete, as you can see, the kind of the, so as you can say, 270 degrees. Just do the 270 degrees or the three-quarter spin. Just see how it works. As you can see over here, I took a gamble. I thought I was gonna turn around or at least go near post. I did it, create enough of the angle, then Elastico inside, and it works very, very well. I wanted to show you one other combination that you can do, which is a drag back into an Elastico. So watch, I get the board over here at Mahrez. I do a drag back, and then I do an Elastico straight after, and you kind of get that spinning animation. Now, I'll be honest, there's not that many good skill moves you can chain it with. The singular step over and the drag back, I would say, in terms of efficiency, are probably the most easiest to do, and I would say the ones that have the best. The reason why this one is a bit better, this is the kind of the opposite one. So when you get the ball, when I got the ball with Mahrez over here, I was kind of stuck. You might see players like Tex do this. So the initial drag back was just basically drag him out of position. I wanted to basically bring him forward and bring him closer towards me, and then I was going to spin him with the Elastico. So the idea is that when I do the drag back, he will come towards me. So as you can see, he will come towards me. Then because I stop, he will then also stop as well. He will basically mirror my movement, and then I'll drag back away. So basically I'll walk you through it again. So I get the ball with Mahrez, and this is what I'm anticipating. Here I got nowhere to go. There's a player near me, so I want to beat this guy. So I want him to come close. So how do I do this? I do a drag back, and that way I do a drag back, and that means he will kind of stop running towards me. Then I want him to stand still, and when he stands still, I can then do the Elastico around him. So that's exactly what happens. As you can see, even though he's far away from me, he's meant to be close, but even though he's far away, look, it still works again. Drag back, he stops running towards me, he matches me up, and because he's standing still, then I do the Elastico, and I create the space just like that. And even if he didn't take a shot, it would have been very, very good. Again, it's very, very simple how you do this. It's the half drag back though, not the full drag back. That's the most important thing. So again, get the ball. Remember I told you in my drag back video, you literally just flick you flick the left analog stick. You basically hold it for less than half a second, almost like a millisecond, just to register the initial movement. And again, don't forget now the drag back is now changed to L1 plus R1. Just remember that as well this year. But again, like that, did a half one. Wait for him, and as soon as I do the Elastico, so as soon as I do the drag back, so I do a drag back normally, let go of everything, and then do the Elastico. Very, very simple, and that's how you use it. This will be the last video for FIFA 20. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a bit of a long one, but I thought, you know what, it's better for me to dig through the examples and show you some of them. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this will help you if you do get a 5-star skiller. Someone like Promes would be a very good card. There'll be some FIFA 21 videos coming up soon. In regards to, for example, how to do certain things, how to use certain aspects. I'll go through that all as well. But the most important thing is the web app's coming out soon. So I'll make a guide on, for example, what players to buy, etc, etc. Thank you very much for watching. Of course, we're going to start again on the 1st of October. So I'll see you then. Don't forget, if you are a member of FIFA School right now, do not cancel your membership no matter what. If you want to cancel membership, please speak to me first, because if you join the loyalty scheme, you get the same price for the rest of FIFA 21. But unfortunately, if you cancel your membership, I can't give you that price again. So just do bear that in mind. So don't cancel membership now and then sign up again on the 1st. Just continue the membership. Don't do anything. It will naturally convert into your new membership. But don't worry about that. More information will come out on that. But if you are in doubts, just do contact me. Thanks for watching. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out, boys.